awesome holiday of Hanukkah begins this coming Motzei Shabbat, and in Kabul we're loaded with menorahs for everyone, as well as programs and parties all throughout town. Wherever you are in the world, if there's anything you need for the Hanukkah holiday, be sure to reach out to your closest Chabad house, and I assure you, you will be hooked up with everything possible. Even Brussels sprout donuts? I assure you, you'll be hooked up with everything possible except Brussels sprout donuts. Aww. Welcome to the Kabul Jewish Center's video blog, Torah portion of Vayeishev. And it's finally here. The famous movie script story of rags to riches is accounted in this week's portion of Vayeishev. Joseph being sold as a slave and his long path to heavy-duty success opens this Shabbat in synagogues everywhere. It all begins with Jacob displaying his favoritism towards Joseph, making him the coat of many colors. Did you ever wonder why Joseph was so unpopular with his brothers? I don't know about those days, but here in the 21st century, giving your son a rainbow-colored bathrobe will not win him any friends, neither will it demonstrate any loving sentiments you may have to him. I'm my father's favorite son. You like the sweater he made for me? So Joseph is hated by his brothers, and then they hate him even more after hearing dreams about his eventual rulership over them. To make a long story short, they end up grabbing and selling him to some Arab merchants, who then go on to sell him as a slave in Egypt. Yeah, not the place for a good Jewish boy to find himself. So there he is, just a Hebrew slave to Potiphar, the captain of Pharaoh's guard. But surprisingly, God blesses him with tremendous success, and before long, he gets promoted to be the head manager of all of his boss's estate. That is, until Potiphar's wife begins pursuing Joseph, who, did I forget to mention, was also just a hot guy. Oh yeah, and good looking even without that rainbow-colored bathrobe. So she tries to seduce him for quite some time, but when she finally realizes that Joseph flat out will not succumb to the pressures, she actually goes and tells her husband that it was Joseph who tried to seduce her, causing him to lose his job and position once again and be rejected by society, thrown into the Egyptian dungeon, where, surprise, God blesses him to be successful there and rise to be manager of the entire prison. What kind of freak is this kid Joseph? Well, truth be told, he was no freak at all. In fact, he was a very stable and solid man, someone whose belief and trust in God was second to none. Vayar Adonav ki Hashem ito. And his master saw that God was with him. Our rabbis tell us that everywhere Joseph turned, God's name was upon his lips. He was blessing God, thanking God, and living with God every moment of his day. This is what brought him such tremendous success, despite the difficult situations in which he found himself. While many look at the Torah portion of Vayeishev and they see the unfortunate downward spiral of a beloved son kidnapped and sold by his own family, enslaved and then falsely charged and imprisoned, let's try looking at the portion through different glasses. Okay, I don't see anything. You know when someone just throws in a joke totally from left field and then there's just this awkward silence? Perhaps this week's Torah portion is actually detailing a most positive account of a man who, no matter what challenges life seems to throw his way, remains steadfast to God and finds unimaginable success in everything he does. Where anybody else would just throw in the towel and give up without any hesitation, Joseph thanks and trusts in God, brushing himself off and getting back to work in making his current surroundings as positive and holy as possible. So the next time you find yourself in a challenging situation and feel like saying, why does the world hate me? Or maybe, I can't take it anymore. Stop for a moment and remember Joseph, that poor outcast child who didn't wallow in his misfortune. Rather, he latched onto his rock-solid faith in God and his goodness, and he charged ahead. Shabbat Shalom and a happy Hanukkah. If you've been enjoying these weekly videos, we encourage you to show us just how much you like them. Do you appreciate them $1? Maybe an $18 like? Maybe you even like it $1,000 worth. Whatever donation you choose to give to the Kabul Jewish Center, I assure will be put to our tireless efforts in making this rough world we live in shine with goodness and kindness. $1 million like? So donate today.